Welcome to Commander Brito-Ruskie-Ski. Hello comrades, welcome back to Commander Brito-Ruskie-Ski. Yes, I know it's weird, I am uploading very regularly for 2 videos maybe. But yes, today we are going to be talking about Russia, I mean Ukraine. As many of you know, there's been a war between Russia and Ukraine. Like the video if you want me to make a Russian explains Crimea video, because I know quite a lot about that, and you guys might like to see what Russian people think about the whole Crimea dispute. So comment down below. Anyway, Ukraine, it's basically a war zone at the moment, especially in the east. I'm gonna try to be as non-biased as possible. Obviously, I am never biased in my videos, so, you know, but obviously since there's a war there, it's gonna be a bit different. Ukraine is a massive country. It's the second largest country in all of Europe, so obviously behind Mother Russia itself. Yeah, it seems that Russia's made a lot of big countries. Not counting Russia, obviously we have Ukraine is the biggest country in Europe, and obviously Kazakhstan is the 9th biggest in the world. And Mongolia, which wanted to be part of Russia, is also massive. So yeah, Russia is just huge. You know what else is huge? Ukraine's problems. They are, you know, there's so many of them. Obviously there's a high poverty rate. It's one of the poorest countries in all of Europe, despite being massive, having a huge population, and, you know, and a failing economy, sadly. As many of you know, Chernobyl happened there, which is a massive toxic explosion, which, I mean, smells pretty bad, most likely. I've never been, don't want to be there. Obviously, Mother Russia will take over Ukraine, and when Mother Russia takes over Ukraine, then I can visit, because I won't need visa. So, what now you may ask, Commander Brito-Ruskie-Ski, what do you think of the war? Personally, I think Russia's in the right. Russia should just take East Ukraine. Many people in East Ukraine even want to join Russia. That's why the whole thing happened, because the rebels happened, and, you know, those are starting to be a civil war, which, I mean, if the people want it, you should give it to them. Obviously, that's what the Soviet Union did. People wanted to be happy, and Khrushchev, they made it happy, you know, crushing protests, made the Russian people happy. Not so the Polish or the Hungarian people, but the Russian people happy. And that's what the Russians wanted. So I think we should give the people what they want, and they should join Russia, or at least become a Russian puppet state, such as the Eastern Bloc. As we all know, the Eastern Bloc loved Russia. Very, very good friendship. Obviously Russia, obviously Ukraine, its flag looks like an upside down minion as well, which you always got to appreciate. You know, minions, they're small, but at the same time, they have a lot of culture behind them. I don't really think the Ukraine people like minions, which is another reason why I don't really like Ukraine. It's, you know, down there along with the capitalist America and Britain. So yeah, Ukraine, it's also not a very friendly nation. All the immigrants, they go to Poland, and all the Polish immigrants go to England. Like, why don't you just go to England? Pretty stupid. I actually haven't seen a lot of Ukrainian people in England. It's probably because they're scared of capitalism, which I can totally agree with. Obviously, being part of the USSR made them kind of scared of capitalism. So what do I think of Crimea, you may ask? I think Crimea is Russian. I don't know why, it's not biased. I just, looking at all the facts, Crimea is Russian. Everyone in the UN agrees it's Russian, so I think it deserves to be Russian. The food, you know... So yeah, Crimea also, and there's 3 million Russian people living there. That's probably more than the Ukrainian people living there. I heard there's also Tatars living there, but no one cares about the Tatars. Like, there's literally a food called Tatar. Like, shut the fuck up, Tatars. I talked a lot about Tatars there. So yeah, we have troops there, we have people there. Sevastopol is ours. We need a warm water port, because as Russians are very cold. So yeah, thank you Ukraine for peacefully giving us Crimea. The food is also very similar, surprisingly. I don't like, we eat pierogi, we eat kielbasa, you know, many similar things. So that's one positive of Ukraine. That's literally the only reason I could possibly live there. Yeah, that's about it. Ukraine is not very interesting. Kiev is obviously important city, which is why it needs to be part of Russia. You may think, Obviously, Crimea was given to Ukraine by the Russians during the Soviet years. Yes, but it was still part of Russia. You know how the stupid Palestinian Muslims say that, oh, their land isn't Israel because we lived there like thousands of years ago. Same with Russians. Russians owned it thousands of years ago. It is still, that instantly means it's Russian. Obviously, I'm using Palestinian rules, so judging by that, I say Ukraine is ours. I'm not trying to offend Palestinians. I mean, I am, but don't take it too seriously, guys. Now, if you actually don't know, Ukraine actually means borderland, which obviously meant borderland between Polska and Russia. Obviously, back in the day, there were massive powers. Poland was, and obviously Russia was. So, you know, they needed a borderland, or else they would fight. And that wouldn't end well. Millions of people would die, as you know, from the partitions of Poland, which is the only bad thing Russians done in their entire history, as well as being obviously capitalist and Tsarist, not communist. Thank you guys for watching. This video is a bit longer than the usual ones, because, you know, there's quite a lot happening in Ukraine. Make sure to comment down below and vote whether I should make a video on Crimea, and I will, obviously, because I got to give the citizens what they want. Make sure to subscribe and let communism strike again!